like, are you guys like fully in support of human rights? See if you can find this guy. He's got a beard and long hair. And they're like, yes, absolutely. He goes, what about for fetuses in the womb? And everybody walks away. Everybody was like, that's unhuman, or that, I don't know. And he does it to everybody. And he looks like a hippie, you know? So he's like, so you guys are for sure for human rights? Like, oh yeah, human rights is why we're here. You believe in human rights for everyone? Yes. What about unborn babies? And you see this look on the... It's almost like everybody's under a spell.
Yeah.
Like some evil...
But they are under a spell.
Yes, this is the guy. Yeah, this is him. This is him. Check this out. This is wonderful. I love when people do things like this.
I love when people do things like that.
Can you refresh? Yeah.
I think.
We're in favor of them.
For everybody?
Yes.
How about the unborn? Support human rights?
Yes, of course.
For everybody?
Of course.
Even people in the womb?
Well, it all depends on if they're actually a baby or not.
Science says they are.
Well, it depends on what science you're talking about.
96% of all biologists, according to the NIH. Thoughts on human rights?
I'm all for them.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
For everybody, right?
Yeah.
Even the unborn?
An unborn what?
Unborn in the womb. Yeah, no rights for them. Thoughts on human rights? That's what we're here for. For everybody, right? Yes. Including the unborn? No. Everyone has autonomy to not be killed, I think.
Well, he's like nothing. And he just pulls
no argument. Stop taking rights away. Get out of
Nazi lives don't matter, it says on that guy's shirt that's just screaming.
here.
Nazi lives don't matter. Who's that guy? Give him some props.
Dude, I love this so much. This makes me so happy. Even Joe sees the inconsistencies of the abortionist belief system. And the fact that he goes, I love this. Let's give this guy some props. Like, because at least acknowledge, if you're for abortion, you have to acknowledge it's an inconsistent belief system. You believe in human rights? Of course I do. For everybody? Yeah. Even the unborn? Well, no.
Oops.
Yeah, right.
And they all have the same response to like, oops, I walked into a trap. You see them all get the deer in the headlight glaze, and they're like, oh, no. Like they like respond differently, but you see the cognition of like, crap.
I know. You have to admit it. That's the thing. You have to eventually go, my belief system is incomplete or just inconsistent. I mean, at least at the very least.
And I love that they go, well, it depends on what you mean. And he just goes, well, 95% of biologists agree that it's like, boom, like NIH, just like, it's not, there is no question about the science.
Yes.
There's no question that life is in the womb.
Yes.
If there was a fetus on Mars that was discovered, the front page of every single newspaper on planet Earth would be life on Mars.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yes.
Like, it is life according to every standard and definition of life. And then in terms of, well, what kind of life is it? It's human.
Yes.
So this is not an argument. This is a fact. These are not disputed facts.
Yes.
There is a living human being inside the womb.
Yes. So
that is a fact.
Absolutely. And okay, this is not the only inconsistency, and I almost want to just dream up with you other inconsistencies around this. So he brought up the human rights perspective. I would bring up the my body, my choice inconsistency because that phrase that's so like just paraded everywhere. Like, well, is it your body? Is that your brain? Is that your heartbeat? Is that your fingerprint? Like, what do you mean? My body, my choice. So even the language itself around like that argument, you have to at least admit, okay, well, it's not my body. It's not my heartbeat. It's not my brain wavelengths. This is another So I just want to I think it's important for us to say, hey, whenever you hear these slogans or these chants or human rights or whatever the issue might be, it's just never applied to itself. I think one's my body, my choice. I don't know if you ever.
Oh no, my body, my choice is the ultimate like linguistic spell that is cast over people, and once that has been employed, then it seems like all critical thinking just turns off. It's like, well, that touches on that wins the empathy Olympics at that point, and so. I cannot see this in any other perspective. You've deployed my body, my choice. My brain is shut off. I'm powering down, and I actually cannot see this from another perspective. is what I have at least encountered often around this topic, which is very unfortunate.
Yes.
I'll give one other example. Spina bifida.
Okay.
We just got the test back. Praise God. Our baby does not have spina bifida, but it's something that you get tested for every single time, and it's around the 20-week in utero that you get those test results back. Okay. If a baby does have spina bifida, that can be treated actually surgically. But in order to do so, they actually have to take the baby out of the womb, do the surgery, and then put the baby back into the womb. And this actually can be done. It's amazing.
What a crazy thought. Yeah.
It's amazing. But it also has huge implications on the pro-life issue.
Yeah.
Because are we meant to believe that the baby went from being not a human being to then being a human being?
Because it left the womb.
Yeah. And it's literally having surgical work done on its spinal cord, putting the spine back inside of the skin, and then putting the skin over top of the spine. Like it's literally having an intricate surgery done to him or her. Let's say her. And then it loses its rights again. She loses her rights again. She loses her rights the second that she goes back into that location. So what you're really saying is location determines value, which is absolutely crazy.
Insane. Well, let's actually strongman the idea that they might propose, well, Brandon, the baby needs the mother to live in the womb, so yeah, like you gotta understand the baby needs the mother to live. That's why it's her right, though. Like if she wants to end it, it's weird to me. Like, have you ever heard them describe it like because the babies could not survive without the mother, therefore the mother has the right to end this baby's life.
The baby didn't consent to being in that environment.
And that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying even outside the womb, the baby can't live without the mother.
Well, yeah, one-year-olds can't live without the mother anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
But if we're for good reasons, really sensitive around consent in 2025, and again, for good reasons.
Yeah.
But one of our points here is about consistency.
Yes.
So let's be consistent around consent. There's all these ethical analogies that people will bring up to try to justify abortion, and one of them is life support. There's the violin, the violinist analogy, but that one misses this. Okay. The real example would be this. Imagine that you go to sleep. It's kind of funny to make it about you since we're across from each other, but let's just make it real.
Yeah.
Imagine that you go to sleep and you wake up and you are connected to me in a way where your life is dependent on me. Mm-hmm. But I did that against your consent. So maybe we could say that you're dangling from a rope that I'm holding onto off the edge of a cliff. Your life is totally in my hands. And I'm sitting there, now that I've put you in that position, now that I've put you dangling over the edge of a cliff, holding a rope, I'm now saying, this is so ridiculous for me. This is so inconvenient. Like, I have to hold this rope all the time. He obviously doesn't get rights because he's obviously totally dependent on me. Mm-hmm. And this is obviously really inconvenient for me. So I shouldn't have to hold on to this rope. Because he's not even really a person, because he's like if I release the rope, he dies. So he's not even really a person. Okay, I'm going to release the rope. Mm-hmm. Now, that misses the fact that I'm the one who put you on the rope.
Yeah, without my consent. Yeah.
Against your consent. Mm-hmm. I'm the one who brought you into a situation where you are dependent on me.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the less than 1% of rape and incest cases do not apply to this analogy. But 99% of all abortions do. Yeah. Where there is an active choice being made by a person to put another person in a circumstance like the one that I just described. And then that person, once they're holding onto the rope, is then saying, this is really not very convenient for me to be holding onto this rope. I don't really like holding onto this rope. I don't think this person has value. Release the rope and run away. That is actually a better analogy than any ones that I've heard to try to explain how two people being connected means that one person doesn't have value.
Yes, I mean, in the kind of a similar parallel argument, it's the idea of the inconsistency of wantedness. So if I don't want them, I can remove them. So it's almost like I'm a pregnant woman. I want the baby. I keep it. I don't want it. I get rid of it. So the value of life is based off of your want. And there's no other situation in life that way where I don't want that. That person's a nuisance to me. I don't want them. I end that. Like, no. So it's funny how but as soon as, I don't want my baby in me, it's now the values based off the want. And I'm very thankful we don't base humans' values based off my wants or your wants.
Yeah.
It's just the inconsistency of the argument from wantedness. It has value if it's wanted. It loses value as soon as it's not wanted. I'd say that's very inconsistent.
It also does, like our last topic in our last video, go down to a worldview level, because you have to end up saying, like, ontologically, what is a human being? Is a human being just a biological piece of material? Is it really just selfish genes?
Yes.
Like Richard Dawkins loves to talk about. Is it just the selfish gene and adaptation and then time, and then you get this thing called a human being?
Yes.
And now we're in this situation where we have the perception of ethics, and we have the perception of morality, and we have the perception of consciousness. We have all these perceptions, and they're all arbitrary, and there's no actual, real, perennial, lasting, ontological value to what a human being is. We're not, in other words, created in the image of a God. We don't have eternity in our hearts.
Yeah.
We don't have any intrinsic value at all. We have whatever value we decide that we have.
Yeah.
And so it does end up going down to a worldview level. And basically, frankly, if you subtract God from the equation, it's really hard to make a case for that humans have intrinsic value.
Sure.
It actually is. It's really, you kind of start to think, yeah, maybe might makes right. Maybe,
survival of the fittest makes most sense at that point.
Yeah, to the victor goes the spoil. If this is advantageous for the group, if this is better for society, I can rationalize abortion. You have to see, but also, just to be clear, in thinking along those lines, you are departing away from human rights. You are departing away from human flourishing. You are stepping into a hellscape. You're stepping into a dystopia. You're being consistent on materialism, but you're also stepping into an absolute dystopia.
Because God-given rights, you have to go blank given rights. Like, what are those rights you inherently have?
Apparently, mother-given rights.
Yeah, right.
And the second that the mother takes them away, they don't exist. Apparently.
That's fascinating.
So, like, desire given right, like you said, if the mother desires the child, the child has rights. If the mother doesn't at any point in time desire the child to continue to exist, apparently those rights are taken away. But again, that's so horrifying. It's so disgusting. It's so obviously debased, and it's so familiar in terms of how we have dehumanized other groups of people in the past. It's so familiar to any time that you have a human rights issue, any time that you have an atrocity, you have a similar type of dehumanization of a class of people that predates that atrocity.
That always has to happen, though, right? You have to dehumanize so that you can dismiss or really ultimately disregard.
Yeah.
I mean, I dehumanize you so I can disregard you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this would go actually to another inconsistency, which is like the inconsistency of science, right?
Yeah.
Because that is funny to me where, like, I don't want to say a group of people who almost view science as the solution to humanity. Like, we can solve the world's problems through technology, education, science. Like, okay, so the people group just in love and committed to science. Like he points out, you have to acknowledge science would argue that life begins at conception, right? And so then it's the inconsistency of science then. Those people who are for science, and when the majority, 96%, as he said from the NIH, say, yes, it is rooted, like life, that is life. So if it's life, then it gets what? So, if it's a human life, what does it get? Human right. So that's the idea. It's just, it's just funny to me that like this is what's weird to me. It's like, if you have this belief system, you have to at least acknowledge, hey, I get it. None of this is consistent. I contradict myself all the time. I at least admit that.
It's even worse than that, though. If we want to push the point one step further here, because the only escape hatch that exists is the personhood escape hatch, the 24-week mystical line that is crossed where personhood comes into the equation, and all of a sudden, that clump of cells is in some mysterious way turned into a person. And you might ask yourself, what makes the difference?
Yeah.
What separates the 23-week-old
Yeah.
valueless clump of cells from the 25-week-old infinitely valuable person?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the answer. That's where sentience enters the equation. That's where they have a level of neurological development where there is some type of a consciousness that exists. There is some type of a sentience that exists.
So at 23 weeks, 6 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes.
There's obviously an ethical issue for that reason. But I'm even making a different point about inconsistency.
Yeah.
Tell me more. What is this non-material sentience that you're saying makes something valueless valuable? What is that exactly?
This immeasurable thing you're saying. Is it measurable? Would they argue it's measurable? Because how do you measure that, right?
But what my point is, if materialism is true, why is slightly more complicated brain chemistry capable of transforming something from being valueless to valuable?
Yeah.
Well, if you're saying that a human being is only matter, then there really isn't any value anyway other than an arbitrary value described. But this is why it's inconsistent, is you're saying, no, we actually want the Christian worldview that says that people are special and exceptional in creation and valuable, and that they really do matter, but we can't justify it.
Yeah.
We actually have nothing to ground it in. We have no way to actually instantiate that value.
Yeah.
So instead of what we're going to do is we're just going to say, we just are going to adopt your value principle at 24 weeks. Abracadabra. And now we get it. And all you've done is you've stolen from God. All you've done is you've stolen from the Christian worldview. And you've picked, honestly, a super arbitrary point to do that. 24 weeks.
Yeah.
Based on, just a couple more synapses connected, a little bit more brain activity, pain receptors. There's certain things that they're going to go to. I'm a little bit, straw manning. But, the point is, it's all material. And it doesn't you actually don't get to the value that you're attaching based on what you're trying to ground it in is the bottom line.
I mean, you're right, because this magical line you cross, right? At what point? That's what I'm struggling with too. This magical line of non-sentient to sentient. There's this moment it's weird to me because they say it's rooted in science, but it's the magic tunnel, the magic birth canal tunnel. It goes from non-live clump of cells to life through the magic tunnel. Yeah. And there's this magic line that you cross. And it's almost, I feel like that's the way that it's described. You're man, you're more mythical than you realize. You're not as rooted in science. Because the baby does have a heartbeat and it can feel pain before then.
Way before then.
Yes,
way before.
And it has brain wavelengths. But this magical sentient line that you're describing and this magical birth canal that you're describing, and it's really funny to me how it's actually being described.
And it obviously doesn't hold up. I mean, I don't even know if this needs to be unpacked or said, but in case it does, that is a absolutely horrifying standard of value because every time I go to sleep at night, I lose consciousness.
Yeah.
I lose awareness. My pain receptors are off. According to that type of logic, you could just put a bullet through my head anytime I fall asleep and you'd be justified in doing so.
Sure, you have to,
because there's nothing actually ontologically valuable about me. I'm only as valuable as is my sense experience.
Yes.
Which turns off every single night.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying for those in comas, different head trauma. It's terrifying.
Even people that are mentally impaired. You're also, and whether you want to admit it or not, having to face this idea that if there is if value is based on brain states, then you are facing a spectrum of value based on cognitive development.
Yeah.
The lower the cognitive development, the lower the value. I mean, and that is actually a really messed up worldview.
It's terrible.
The higher the IQ, the more the value, or the more sentience. If you have some type of mental impairment, if you're whatever, Down syndrome or autistic or whatever, not as valuable.
That's a terrible, obviously, and no one would ever admit that, right? No one ever who is for abortion would admit that. But you're thinking again. There's no such thing as intrinsic value for not meeting God's image. If there's no such thing as intrinsic value, where does value come from? Is it based off of the value you bring to the population, the value you add? Because again, there's whether it's little children, babies, whether it's people in hospital beds, there's not a lot of value they're adding. So at one point in time, like it's such a scary thing when you don't believe in intrinsic value. You have to believe in intrinsic value for it to go, no, like life does matter. And I think this brings up another one we're kind of touching on. It's the inconsistency of compassion, which I think we have to acknowledge. Like, listen, no one. I think that I hate this straw man or this caricature that people who are pro-life don't care about the mother. No, we greatly care about the mother. We have practically helped pregnant mothers. We will continue to help pregnant mothers. We want to help women who find themselves in pregnancy, like in crisis situations. We will help them. We will serve them. We'll give to them. We have done that. Like I've never seen more people help pregnant women than believers of Jesus. Believers of Jesus love and help pregnant women. So I hate that straw man. But the inconsistency to act like the murdering of this child is compassion for the mother and compassion for the other human life. Because if you claim you have compassion, I'm telling you, the mother who participates in an abortion will have trauma as well from that. They will have dreams about it. They will have moments of depression about it. There's going to be a lot of other things that will come with those who participate in this. Is there forgiveness in Jesus? Is there grace? Is there healing and restoration? Yes, but there will be deep work that needs to take. So you can say that the abortion is compassion for the mom. One, it's not compassion for the mom. The mom's going to suffer in some other capacity. It's not compassion for the unborn child. And it's like, so you admit that that's a life. Fine, it's a life. Fine, it's a human life. We'll agree with science that it is a human life. Then you're not having compassion on another human life. So just don't act like this is compassion. Don't act like this is love for the mother or love for the child. And I think that's where I want to say, like, you just have to admit this is not consistent. You think you're being compassionate. And in fact, this is going to hurt and harm her in some capacity and the child, obviously, through the end of its life. You admit it's a life. You admit it's a life that's human. And now that life is over. And you have no compassion for that life that's over. You're not a compassionate person like you think you are. And I really do wish to at least acknowledge that. Because I just think that and I actually, again, I appreciate this Joe Rogan video for that reason of just like, you have to admit that there's way too many inconsistencies with your belief system. Whether it's rooted in science, compassion, wantedness, I mean, my body, my choice, all of it is inconsistent. That would just be at least admit that. You're fine, I'm just kind of picking and choosing what I want. I know it's not consistent.
Yeah, and honestly, this is the tip of the iceberg. Just two quick things, and then I guess my last thoughts of this. But one is, although you're right that people will often not say the quiet part out loud when it comes to mentally impaired people and value, the data actually speaks for itself. Over 90% of Down syndrome babies do not survive the womb. So it might not be talked about, it might not be commonly known, but it is true that there's a screening that identifies that particular chromosomal abnormality very early on, and practitioners will tell mothers, hey, this is what you're facing, you probably want to discontinue the pregnancy, right? You probably, I think it'd be better for everyone. It'll be better for our numbers, and it'll be better for you and your family and your future. So are you ready to discontinue the pregnancy? And there's actually a type of, I know this first and second hand, actually. And so not that exact aspect, but when we went through the whole IVF process, it was the same thing. Like, we're not going to implant, we're not going to like transfer a baby if it has a chromosomal abnormality. We're just not going to do it. Really? No, we're not going to do it. Even if we pay you? Nope, not going to happen. So that mentality in the medical establishment, that pressure from the authority figure whispering into the mother's ear, amounts to a fact that 90%, I think it's 92% now, of babies who are actually given life, fact check me on this, do not survive the womb. So I wanted to say that.
Can I actually even say, I don't know if maybe it's worth showing at the end of this, maybe not. If not now, please, viewer, go watch this later. But if you've ever seen the adult with Down syndrome speak before Congress, and you've ever seen him give his testimony,
yes,
that was one of those powerful things I've ever watched.
Yeah,
he's like, why would you not want more of me? I love you. I love my family. I love people. I help. I serve. I have a job. He's like, I bring so much joy to people. People tell me how much joy I bring them. And like he's basically like describing his story of
He's trying to justify his existence.
It's the saddest thing. He's trying to justify his existence. Like, I do so much good. I love, I care, I cry. Like, he's like, I'm a human like anyone else. Like, you hear him standing before, I don't know if it's Congress, it's some sort of like Senate leaders or congressional leaders. And you just hear him and you're like, what are we doing? Like,
So
and basically the idea too of like, actually people like him, it gives us more of humanity.
Yeah.
It gives us more compassion.
Yeah.
It helps us see life through a different lens. Like,
Of
it makes
course.
us more human. And when we end those lives, it makes us less human.
Yes,
You know?
exactly right. Exactly right. And that was actually the second thing I was going to say is, we can pretend like human life isn't infinitely valuable, but because it actually is, the damage that taking an innocent life, the damage that does to the person who does it is real, regardless of what you believe about the action that you're doing. You actually can't escape the consequences of that action.
Yeah.
And now I know people are lied to and deceived in a number of ways, and there is, like you said, always a path to redemption, and God can heal every wound. But it is bad for a person to take the life of an innocent person. It damages your soul. It hurts you at a deep level. And for that reason, it is compassionate to motivate women to not do that thing.
I would agree with that. And if you have participated in that, it is not the unpardonable sin.
Exactly.
It's not the
Of course not.
unforgivable sin.
I'm speaking,
But
I
to
love that you
those-
say that, because
exactly.
I'm speaking in a way of trying to motivate someone to not
Who's on the
do
fence.
this thing.
Yes.
But you're right. If you have done this thing, go with what you're going to say.
I mean, you just know there is grace and redemption and forgiveness and life at the feet of Jesus. And I'm so grateful he bore my sin and my filth and my shame. And by his stripes, I am healed. So at the cross of Jesus, your sins are forgiven. Your life is made new. It's whom the Son sets free is free indeed.
Yeah.
And I would say, put your faith and trust in Jesus. He loves you. He forgives you. He's the Father with open arms, pursuing you, running to you, welcoming you, killing the fatted calf, bringing out the best robe, putting on the ring, and saying, welcome home. I'm so glad. My son who was once dead is alive. My daughter who's once dead is alive. And that is the type of God we serve. Obviously, we would, by God's grace, plead with you. If you're on the fence of making a decision to end a human life, do not do it for the sake of your soul. Do not do it for the sake of that child's soul, for the sake of that process of healing that will have to take place. Please, there are tons of options. There are inconsistencies in the worldviews you have been fed. If you've been fed these lies of my body, my choice, or it's based off your desire, your wants, or it's based off science, whatever lie you've been told, it is inconsistent, it's a lie, it's wrong, and it will not bring you more joy, despite what that professor might tell you. And there are plenty of options, and you have people who will love you and come alongside you, and I cannot stress that enough.
Amen.
Mr. Chairman, and members of the committee, just so there is no confusion, let me say that I am not a research scientist. However, no one knows more about life with Down syndrome than I do. Whatever you learn today, please remember this. I am a man with Down syndrome, and my life is worth living. Sadly, across the world, a notion is being sold that maybe we don't need research concerning Down syndrome. Some people say prenatal screens will identify Down syndrome in the womb, and those pregnancies will just be terminated. It's hard for me to sit here and say those words. I completely understand that the people pushing this particular final solution are saying that people like me should not exist. That view is deeply prejudiced by an outdated idea of life with Down syndrome. Seriously, I have a great life. I have lectured at universities, acted in an award-winning film and an Emmy-winning TV show, and spoken to thousands of young people about the value of inclusion in making America great. I have been to the White House twice, and I didn't have to jump the fence either time. Seriously, I don't feel I should have to justify my existence. But to those who question the value of people with Down syndrome, I would make 3 points. First, we are a medical gift to society, a blueprint for medical research into cancer, Alzheimer's, and immune system disorders. Second, we are an unusually powerful source of happiness. A Harvard-based study has discovered that people with Down syndrome, as well as their parents and siblings, are happier than society at large. Surely happiness is worth something. Finally, we are the canary in the eugenics coal mine. We are giving the world a chance to think about the ethics of choosing which humans get a chance at life. So we are helping to defeat cancer and Alzheimer's, and we make the world a happier place. Is there really no place for us in the world? Is there really no place for us in the NIH budget? On a deeply personal note, I cannot tell you how much it means to me that my extra chromosome might lead to the answer to Alzheimer's. It's likely that this thief will one day steal my memories, my very life, from me. This is very hard for me to say, but it has already begun to steal my mom from me. Please think about all those people you love, the way I love my mom. Help us make this difference. If not for me and my mom, then for you and the ones you love. Fund this research. Let's be America, not Iceland or Denmark. Let's pursue answers, not final solutions. Let's be America. Let's make our goal to be Alzheimer's free, not Down syndrome free. Thank you.
Thank you.